Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft. After a long time of travel, I am back at my house, which is a bit of a relief, and I'm hoping to be able to play a bit more. I've been doing daily videos, but only one league a day, so I've fallen a bit back in the standings, but we're ready to make a push now. And we have a doozy of a pack to start. Mana Crypt and Mox Ruby are both really, really good and very similar. Um, this is better in more aggressive decks in general. It's 2 mana instead of 1 mana. So it enables some really busted things, but it is only good in hyper aggressive decks because the downside of 3 damage a turn or 1.5 damage a turn can really add up if you're trying to play a slower game. I think I'm going to take the Mox Ruby over the Mana Crypt. It's very, very close. Mana Crypt is more broken, and at its best, it's better, but I think Mox Ruby is a bit more consistent, and it doesn't pigeonhole us into aggro. It's still really good in aggro, but we could play this in like Blue-Red Twin more easily than we could play Mana Crypt. Really, really close pick, though. Okay, I think now we take a Preordain. And this is the sort of thing, like, if we had the Mana Crypt, we don't really want to be a Preordain deck. We could, like, maybe take Mox Diamond or Porcelain Legionnaire, but I think we can take Preordain here, which is just a really good card. There is also Trinket Mage, but I think I would still rather have the Preordain. If we wanted to lean towards aggro, I guess we could take Figure of Destiny, which is a really good card. It's kind of close. If we are, like, specifically an red aggro deck, Figure of Destiny is great. And red is often open, but Preordain is really strong. Hmm. I think I'm still going to take the Legionnaire, though. It's close. This isn't broken. It adds consistency, but it's not broken, whereas, like, a really good, like when you have a Mox Ruby specifically, that really turbocharges the aggro decks. And this is the kind of card that's really good in both mono red and mono white. Same with Legionnaire, but 1-drops are great. I think I'm going to take the figure, but it's a close pick. If we end up seeing like a mana drain here, I'll regret not taking the Preordain for sure. Well, a lot of good stuff here, including Splinter Twin Pestermite and Tinker. And Tinker is the card that makes you want to have Mana Crypt because you can play turn 1 Tinker. If we'd taken Preordain, we could definitely take Tinker here, and I do kind of wish that we'd done that now. If we want to stay in the aggro lane, Abbot of Carol Keep and Mother of Runes are both very strong. Close pick. I do, like, based on what we've seen now, I wish that we had gone Mana Crypt into Trinket Mage or Preordain into Tinker. But given where we actually are, I don't think I want to take one of the twin things and hope that the other one wheels. I think I'm just going to take Mother of Runes. It's not a super exciting pick, but it's a really, really good card. And helps us keep our curve low, which is very important. Yeah, I'll do that. But with the way things are going, I do sort of wish we'd gone in the control direction, and we still could pivot. But I think we're in a great spot still. I mean, this is a very, very strong. It's not as spicy as the Tinker version, but it's a really, really strong start. Now we take Inspiring Vantage. Hopefully, we'll one of the white cards. Yeah, let's do that. Good start. All right, I think here we just take the Prismatic Vista. That's a pretty nice pickup. Restoration Angel is situationally very good. White looks pretty open. There's 4 white cards in the pack. But let's take the Vista for now. We also could end up in Mardu. I've actually found Mardu Lurrus to be a kind of sweet deck. If we wheel Tidal or Sculler, playing Lurrus alongside just a bunch of cheap like Mardu threats and some interactive spells is a really good place to be. But we'll just start with the fixing. Whether we're red-white or red-black or red-black-white or something else, Prismatic Vista will be a helpful piece of consistency. Wow. That's a really late Recurring Nightmare. And I honestly think that's a bit of a sign to just change directions. There are 2 red cards and a white card here, but Recurring Nightmare is extremely powerful. We could take the Intrepid Adversary and stay on the red-white aggro course. But I think I'm going to go for the high power level card, and then we'll see. If we end up just not seeing much more Reanimator stuff and getting a bunch more good red-white aggro stuff, we can do that for sure. But that late of a Recurring Nightmare is definitely a sign. Okay, now we see, a few interesting options. There's Avalanche Riders if we want to play red. Elish Norn is an okay thing to reanimate, but not amazing. Could take the braid. You know what? I'm actually gonna take the braids. Braids and Recurring Nightmare work well with a lot of the same cards. I haven't done a deck with Braids yet. Um, Basically, with both of these cards, you want cheap creatures that you can sacrifice. So something like Bloodghast would be really good here. Um, we also, I mean, yeah, this card is a little bit bad. It's 4 mana. It's a 2/2 creature, so it's pretty weak to removal. But if you're able to put it out quickly, then it can do a lot of good work. It can like immediately make them sacrifice a land, and then potentially continue to snowball from there. And so if we get good creatures to sacrifice and potentially some token makers, then Braids could be a pretty nice card. Okay, now we get a pack that just has all the aggro stuff, no black reanimation. We could take Baleful Strix if we really want to lean into that direction, but I think I'm just going to take Cathar Commando here. We may end up being black-white, which is not typically a color combination that I love, but it could be solid here. Um, whether or not Recurring Nightmare is good remains to be seen. But yeah, let's just take 3-Bit Inspector now. Wurmcoil Engine is fine. It's also a late Birds of Paradise, but 3-Bit Inspector is good. White is seeming pretty open, so I think we'll probably be looking like we'll be base white aggro deck, and then we could potentially splash red or black depending on what seems open. But I think that white is probably the right lane for the situation, given that we have the Mox. Tide Hollow Sculler would be a good wheel. I do kind of now wish that I had taken just the Intrepid Adversary over Recurring Nightmare, but it's a low downside pick. Okay, we get Porcelain Legionnaire on the wheel. Scrappy Scrounger is also interesting, actually. Maybe that's better than Legionnaire if we're playing black. Although we also might just not play black. We got a couple late. We got like the one pack with a Recurring Nightmare, but Rage is not a high pick for anyone really. Legionnaire is better on defense. It does pay 2 life, but then this one can come back. I'll take the Scrounger. Even if we're not playing black as a full color, it's just a recursive threat. We can play 1 swamp potentially. Close pick though. So probably not playing the Braids at this point. Probably also not playing Recurring Nightmare, but they could get there. And this honestly looks like a great start. I mean, the curve is very low. We have a Mox, and it should be pretty easy to find some decent 3s and 4s to fill out the top of the curve later in pack 1 and then in packs 2 and 3. Okay, we could take Custodial Lich here if we're playing black. Sword of Feast and Famine could be good if we get Stoneforge Mystic, but honestly, I'll take the Lich. That's a pretty sweet pickup. That pushes me back towards black. It's like if we get Custodial Lich plus Palace Jailer, that would be awesome, and we could build our deck around the Monarchy and being able to maintain the Monarchy. So, yeah, that's a really nice pickup. Okay, now we get Skyclave Shade versus Silverblade Paladin, but I think I'm just solidly going to be black-white aggro at this point. Paladin is good, but Skyclave Shade is better, I think, and it also plays better with Braids and Recurring Nightmare if we go in that direction. This deck looks kind of sweet so far. We got the Sculler, no surprise there. All right, solidly black-white aggro. May or may not play red. I guess I'll keep this land here just as a reminder. If we got like a Ragavan, that would be worth potentially trying to make work, but red does not look super open. We get the Intrepid Adversary in the wheel, that's great. We're also looking like we could be a Lurrus deck if we do get that. We have this one Custodial Lich, which is pretty good, but lots of good, cheap threats as well. I would love to be able to do Lurrus here. And it really is a perfect setup. We currently have 8 really good 1 or 2 mana creatures that we can recur with the Lurrus. So I do think black is open, but I don't think Reanimator is open. Other than that one Recurring Nightmare, we didn't really see any cards that work well in Reanimator. And there was a couple like mediocre top end pieces, but that's nothing to write home about. Okay, there's Exhume, but that doesn't seem great. I think we take Stoneforge Mystic. We did just pass the Sword of Feast and Famine, but Stoneforge Mystic is still a strong card. We have all of packs 2 and 3 to find something that it works with. It's a little bit worse with Lurrus because that turns off Batterskull and stuff like that. But we could play Stoneforge Mystic with Umezawa's Jite, with Skull Clamp, with Lion Sash. There's also Hero's Downfall, but I think I would rather take the Stoneforge here. Although I guess Stoneforge is probably a bit more likely to come around. But this is the kind of card, like I think white aggro is pretty open, but this is the kind of card that you would play in some non-aggro decks for sure. Yeah, I think I'll take the Stoneforge here. Close pick, though. Okay, what do we have here? A few interesting options. Entomb is a very powerful card, so we could lean back towards Reanimator a bit, and just Entomb for Scrapheap Scrounger or Skyclave Shade is a fine value play. There's also Ravenous Chupacabra. I think the card we most want is Vindicate, but um, but that should come around. I can't really imagine someone taking that. So then the question becomes, I think I'm not going to take the Entomb, so it becomes Spectral Procession, Chupacabra, and Walking Ballista. Ballista is the best if we end up being a Lurrus deck specifically. Hmm. And Chupacabra is the best if we're non-Lurrus deck. I think I'm going to take the Chupacabra. It is just a lot better. And also, like, if we end up not being a Lurrus deck, we could still easily be a Recurring Nightmare deck. You don't need to be all in on Reanimator for Recurring Nightmare to work. Just, like, switching Ravenous Chupacabras with Custodian Lich can go a long way. If I see Lurrus, I'll take it very highly, and then we'll not play the Chupacabra, and we'll sort of wish we had Wall of, or the Walking Ballista, but this seems fine. And now I'm going to take Dismember. Skyclave that person is good, but I do still want to keep the outs to play Lurrus. Because this, like, Lurrus is a very big power upgrade to just have an eighth good card every single hand. And then hopefully one of these two white cards comes around. But we'll take the good, cheap removal. Now we get Lion Sash. Alright, I think we'll take that in honor of this Stoneforge Mystic. Snuff Out's also pretty good, but we'll take the Sash. Come on, Lurrus. Like a black-white semi-aggro deck with like Custodian Lich and Ravenous Chupacabra is good. A black-white aggressive deck with a quick clock, a low curve, and a good 8th card advantage engine of Lurrus is great. So hopefully we can get there. Alright, we have double Uncolor Signet, but that's not really what this deck needs. Oust and Usher of the Fallen are both interesting options. Usher is more likely to come around, but I think I also want it more. Although maybe that's not even true. Oust is a solid removal spell. It does gain the opponent life, but we have such a high creature count already. Yeah, right. I think we'll take the Oust and hope to wield the Usher. That gives us a premium removal spell. Now we can take Student of Warfare. Fiend Artisan is good if we do get Lurrus specifically. And then there's other, like, Grief, Elspeth, are both solid cards if we're not playing Lurrus. But I think I would still rather take the Student, which is a cheap card, keeps the curve down, and then also does work if we end up with Lurrus, which again is our plan. Ooh, I don't think we can pass the Thoughtseize. Selfless Spirit's good. There's also Urza's Saga, which right now only can get Mox Ruby. So I don't think we'd play it yet, but it could get there. But Thoughtseize is a really, really premium interactive spell. Our mana's kind of bad. But I think we could try to be mono white is the other option, but I think it's worth it to play black, and this just gives us a level of interaction that will really, really help. Okay, now we could take. I'll try the Steel Seraph. I've never cast this card before. It seems kind of weak to me, but it's well, actually no, maybe it is bad in this deck. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Whoa Strider actually. Man, honestly, all of these are reasonable options. Let's take Parallax Wave. It's a really, really good card against creature decks. So solid sideboard option. And none of those cards are cards that I'm thrilled to main deck. I really do want to find that Lurrus. I don't think this deck is like if we get Lurrus, this becomes a great deck, and right now it's only okay. We get Hero's Downfall in the wheel. That's a late Ashiok, but let's take the downfall. Good to have a way to kill a Planeswalker. And Lurrus also checks only for permanents, so we can play Hero's Downfall even if we end up being a Lurrus deck. Okay, Vindicate came around. That's great. Spectral Procession did too, but I think I'd rather have the Vindicate. We're probably not playing red at this point. Um, just having one Prismatic Vista as fixing is bad. I would definitely like to have some more black-white fixing. I think black-white is super open, so I think there's a good chance we'll find it in the last pack. It's just that Godless Shrine / Scrubland, I believe, have not been opened yet. So we've got a few more picks in this pack, 5 more picks in this pack, and then we go on to pack 3. And we're not seeing any new fresh cards this pack, so we're going to be banking on pack 3 to find the key things to round out this deck. What are those key things? Lurrus, one more equipment for Stoneforge Mystic, and fixing. And honestly, beyond that, I think we're great. We have some cheap removal, Thoughtseize, a good low curve, some cheap threats, a Mox. Really just need those three things. Okay, Wall of Omens is better if we're playing Lurrus, but no, I think we'll be fine. And if we are playing Lurrus, we have plenty of playable, so I'm not really looking for just a defensive 2-drop. So let's take the Apparition, which is just a powerful card. Now we get Snuff Out, really nice removal spell. 0-drop. And again, this is playable even if we're playing Lurrus. This deck looks great. 3-0 or 1 mana removal spells, plus 2 extremely flexible 3 mana removal spells. 1, 2, 3, 4 1 mana threats, plus some Thoughtseize and some removal. I think the that 1-drop creature hopefully will come around. We took Oust over the 1-drop, and I forget its name right now. But if that comes around, then that'll keep our curve even lower. Amazing. Usher of the Fallen Wield. We will very happily pick that one up. This could be a birthing pod deck if we weren't a Lurrus deck, but I think I'm still going to hold out faith for getting the Lurrus. And if Lurrus is opened, no one else is going to take it, certainly. So we just need to hope that it is that we do see it in pack 3. Fiend Artisan, honestly, not bad. Potentially playable. I probably won't play it if we get no fixing, but it plays well with Lurrus because you can sack things and then just replay them from your graveyard and find whatever key thing you need, whether that's like ways to kill artifacts, ways to see their hand, a mana sink, graveyard hate, or just like Mother of Runes as a good card. Last big Oblivion Ring, okay. Black White Super Open. We could also just be a Yorion deck. That's kind of funny. We could be Lurrus or Yorion. Yeah, I would be really happy to get either one of those as a companion. And I think either one, the deck building restriction would be worth meeting to get that 8th card. There's a reason why companions always get banned. Alright, time for pack 3. Got some good options here. There is Concealed Courtyard, which is a good piece of fixing. I think that's the card that I want most from this pack, but it should almost definitely come around. There's also Dark Ritual to be faster. Rafine's Tower as a black-white fetchable land, but it comes into play tapped, which hurts. And then there's a few different solid threats that don't work if we play Lurrus, which we do want to do. So I think I'm going to take Flooded Strand here. Yeah, let's take Flooded Strand. And then hope to wheel Concealed Courtyard. Get 2 pieces of fixing out of this pack. We could also just take the Courtyard. Because we really want the Courtyard. And Flooded Strand doesn't actually help us yet. You know what? I'm going to do this. There's a good chance it comes around, but we haven't seen any lands, which could mean someone's playing a 5-color deck. And sometimes 5-color decks just want this. Although I guess there's better lands for 5-color decks in this pack. But still, this is just so good for this deck. It's exactly the card we want. So I think I'm going to take it, although it's close. Okay, there's Dark Confidant. Great pickup. There's also Sword of Fire and Ice and Mishra's Bauble, which this works well with the Stoneforge. This works well with Lurrus. But I think we're taking Bob either way. Really good card. We have a low curve. It's a threat that gives card advantage. Really just does everything we want to be doing. Okay. This is an interesting pack. There's a few good white cards. We're not a Field of the Dead deck. Fractured Identity is great, but I think we're not splashing that at this point. If we had taken that Asperland, we maybe could go for that, but I don't think that's right here. Solitude is probably the card that would be strongest if we don't get Lurrus. But white is pretty open, and I think one of these 3 white cards is almost definitely going to come around. So what I'm going to do here is take Evolved Sleeper and then wheel one of the white cards. Yeah, I think that seems good. Evolved Sleeper is a very strong card. Now we have Evolved Sleeper plus Student of Warfare plus Figure of Destiny. So we have lots of good mana sinks, which means we want to play a slightly higher land count than this sort of deck typically would. We're going to have to make a lot of cuts, especially if we don't end up getting Lurrus. Probably not playing Oblivion Ring. I think it's worse than these 2. But yeah, this deck is looking great. Just got to get one of those companions. We have, what? 13 more, no, 12 more 12 more picks, which means 5 fresh packs. Really hoping one of those 5 has a companion. This one does not. I think we take duress. Again, keeping the Lurrus hope alive. It's 3 solid 3 drops, but they're also kind of expensive even if we weren't playing Lurrus. Mentor is bad for us, but Loren would be good. Lily would be fine. But let's take the duress. Duress into Dark Confidant's a really strong line. Too late, Lurrus. Come on. You know you want to join our deck. We did it! We got the Lurrus. That is great news. This pack is good otherwise, too. We could play Bitter Blossom, maybe Liliana, maybe Hero of Bladehold, but definitely taking Lurrus. That is the best thing we could have gotten. Get out of here. Expensive cards. We are a Lurrus deck. And this deck is just looking amazing now. Fixing is not perfect, but it's okay. We have good interaction, lots of cheap threats. Yeah, just really, really powerful looking deck. Right now, the Stoneforge Mystic is a bit sketchy. I probably won't play it if we only have one Lion Sash to find. So the best thing we could get at this point would be either like a GT or some fixing. And I think here we take, wow, interesting pick. Destroy Evil's fine, but there's also Batterskull to play with Stoneforge. But I think Lurrus is more powerful than Stoneforge. So the question is, do we want Smuggler's Copter or Library of Alexandria? Copter is one of the best threats. Honestly, I think Copter is better than Library for us. Right now, it looks like we're going to end up having some tough cuts, but like it's not too hard to cut Stoneforge Mystic. And this card is really strong. And our curve is so low, we don't have a great use of colorless mana. Plus, we already have Mox Ruby. Yeah, let's take the Copter. Close pick, though. So right now, these 2 cards are probably first on the chopping block. We could also potentially move either Oust or Duress to the sideboard. There's worse versions of Thoughtseize and Dismember. Wow, good late pack for us here. We're definitely taking Silent Clearing. Mana Vault, Retrofitter Foundry, and Unlicensed Hearse and Crypt Breaker, honestly, would all be good picks. I think we found the open lane. Black-White is definitely where we were supposed to be this draft. But yeah, we'll take the Silent Clearing pretty easily. None of the other cards are a serious consideration. If this wasn't here, I would probably take... I don't actually know. Maybe the Hearse. Not the greatest Mana Vault deck. Maybe just Crypt Breaker, but easy Silent Clearing as it is. That makes the mana actually solid now. We have 3 duels that basically always enter untapped. And yeah, so we can play probably 16 or 17 lands. We have a low curve, but we also have a companion. We also have Mox Ruby, though. So I think if the draft ended right now, the only card I don't want to play is Stoneforge Mystic. We could play 14 basics for 7. Yeah, right now we would probably play this with 14 basics, but I would like to get one more good spell that we play over the 17th land. Okay, couple solid options. Do we want... we're not a balanced deck, so do we want Night's Whisper, Revoker, or Giver of Runes? It's really close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1-drops. I think we'll take the Giver because of how good it is to protect Lurrus. If we have Giver or Mother of Runes in play, and then we can play Lurrus, we just have a card advantage engine that can really rival any deck. Yeah, we'll take the Giver. All right, what's first on the chopping block if we need to make another cut now? Probably Fiend Artisan. Well, maybe not. It really does work well with Lurrus. Could be Duress. Okay, interesting pick here. We're not playing Rafine's Tower because I don't want a tapped land. Yeah, I think we just take Mutavault here. That's a solid pickup. Don't want to play 3-drop. We're solidly all in on the Lurrus plan now. Blooming Marsh does not help us. Yeah, we'll take this. And Mutavault is going to be bad in some situations. We do have like Fiend Artisans. Tide Hollow Sculler, all these level up cards, but I think it's still worth taking. Temporary Lockdown wrecks our deck. Not playing any of these. I guess I'll take the lockdown, but yeah, we're not playing it. Even in the packs that have, yeah, okay, like, look at how open our colors are. Just every single pack has multiple things we want. We'll take Containment Priest here. Good pick. It works with Lurrus. So it says if a non-token creature enters the battlefield and it wasn't cast. With Lurrus, we're still casting it. So even though it's coming into play from the graveyard, it's fine. Containment Priest does not work with Fiend Artisan. But that's the only Nombo in our deck. Then the question becomes, do we just cut the Fiend Artisan? I guess it also does. This also doesn't work with Scrap Heap Scrounger. Okay, do we have red fixing for a random Grim Lavamancer? Probably not, but we're not playing Vorsignis. I'll take the Lavamancer just in case. Maybe there's a world where we get like a red card here and then splash Lavamancer against an opposing Lurrus deck or something. All right, what's the cut? I don't think we can play 15 lands in our deck with a companion. I think I'm going to move Duress to the board. Wow, good red stuff that I would love to play with Lurrus, but we'll just take the hero, not play it. Yeah, we'll move Duress to the board. Maybe that's not right. No, that's probably not right. There's so many good non-creatures in this format. Could actually cut Student of Warfare if we don't have great white mana for it. There's a Batterskull, not bad. That's another option. If we play against aggro, we could potentially bring in Stoneforge Batterskull, and then also just play some of these other cards that are pretty good against aggro, like Chupacabra. And just play Lurrus as a card, not as a companion. Last cut. Wow, Unlicensed Hearse. Great last pickup. That's a good sideboard card. I think I'll just cut the Containment Priest. And then against Reanimator, we can bring in Hearse plus Priest and be in a great spot. This deck looks very, very powerful. So let's see what the color looks like. Sort by color. We're very even. Yeah, essentially even. So let's look at the mana value. Definitely don't need these two. So this gives us 9 sources of each color. That's honestly not great. Do we just cut the Mutavault? No, I think we'll just run this. Like, there will be some games where we have to mulligan because our mana is not great, but Mutavault is a real value add in this deck. And, yeah, I think I just want to have the extra attacker. So we'll submit like this. We have a really good sideboard, even with Lurrus restriction. Yeah, Companion Draft, baby. It's really fun to make these cards work in Limited. I'll see you in round 1. All right, here we are for round 1 against Hippie Freak. We are on the play with our Lurrus deck. Let's reveal our companion, and good hand, we can keep it. It's a bit heavy on lands, but keep in mind we have a third spell of Lurrus, and Lurrus Cathar Commando is a great combo. We can just blow up new artifacts and enchantments every single turn. Depending on what they do, we'll either play Cathar Commando or Tide Hollow Sculler on turn 2. I'm leaning towards the Sculler. Cathar Commando hits harder, but Tide Hollow Sculler is going to be able to take a look at their hand and strip their most relevant cards. So we'll play Plains and pass. Playing against a green deck, okay. Okay, given that we drew that especially, let's play the Sculler first, because we want to use our black mana every turn. Take a look at their hand. Whoa. Okay, they have the Argoth Titania combo, but they do need to put 4 lands into the graveyard. I still think we take this. They're just so far away from Ugin. They might be able to get there, but we just need to pressure them as much as we can and try and stop that from happening. They play Forest, level up the Tree Speaker, sure. We need to find some removal for this. Ruby, does that help us here? No. Well, we could just not play. No, I think we just want to play all our things this turn. So I guess I'll play this in case they play an artifact or enchantment that we want to blow up. So we'll do this, hit them for 2, and then pass. with Cathar Commando available. And the next turn, we can either animate Mutavault and swing with everything, or put Lurrus into our hand. This is not really the matchup where Lurrus shines, though, because they're not playing removal. Okay, just keep on leveling up this Tree Speaker, that's fine. Let's cast our thing, and then untap. Snuff out. Oh, we don't have a swamp. That's kind of funny. Um, I think I'm just going to hard cast Snuff out. It's not a sexy play, but it does take them off of 2 mana, which goes a long way. And we have a reasonable clock here. We're hitting them for 6. We can't quite kill them next turn, but we can get close because we can hit them for 7, 8, 9. Put them to 3. All right, so mono green where they just didn't have anything going. So I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much for that one. They basically did nothing, but still a solid start. I don't think we need the Hearse. Containment Priest actually could be good, though. It's good against Natural Order, Green Sun Zenith, Finale of Devastation. I think that's enough for this to be a solid card. Definitely want the removal. Duress, probably worth it. They're creature heavy, but they have Ugin. I think it's probably worth Duress. I might cut Lion Sash. Yeah, let's cut the Lion Sash. The graveyards are not going to be that full, most likely. And we will submit like this. Being on the draw is obviously a bit worse. Right, we will reveal Companion. And another good hand. We have all our colors. We can curve out well. Do they have Draga Tree Speaker again? Hopefully not. Okay, good. Snuff out, solid draw. Let's play. I think I'll play the Thraben Inspector first. It's kind of close. We're not likely to. I think we're almost definitely not leveling up Student of Warfare twice next turn. We're also not cracking the clue. Oh, okay. Let's just play 2/1 drops now. Hit for 1. Drop the mom. Drop the student. And pass. And now next turn, if they play something we want to kill, we can play Snuff Out. Otherwise, I'll probably just play Prismatic Vista for Plains and level up Student of Warfare 3 times. Ooh. Okay, in that case, let's play the Bob. And I'm going to play Swamp so that we can play Snuff Out. If they play like Questing Beast or something. Play this. Hit for 2. We're not pressuring them that much, which is a bit of an issue, but we're developing a nice board. Playing a lot of life, but Dark Confidant, or when you're playing a Lurrus deck, you're guaranteed to have a low curve. If they play Green Sun Zenith, I'll wish that I had left up Containment Priest, but they can't play Natural Order, which is the one we're more afraid of. Okay, Pelucranos is totally fine. I'll untap. We're probably just going to be snuffing that out, but I'll draw a card just in case that changes anything. Smuggler's Copter, okay. Yeah, let's snuff out this. Trading 0 mana for 4 mana is a huge blowout. Then I think I want to get the Copter down, so I'll level this up. Level up again. Hit with these. And then play Copter. And then next turn we can level up Student of Warfare all the way. We need 4 more level counters. We can grab our 4th white source off of this. So would that be lethal? 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is more than lethal. So they need to do something pretty solid here. And they're playing mono green, so there's not much they could have. I guess if they have like Elder Gargaroth. Okay, they have nothing. So we just cruise through mono green in round one. Honestly, I would think that would be a pretty bad matchup. We don't have the most interaction for them, and our Lurrus game plan isn't that effective. Like, this is good against removal, which they're not really playing. But we're able to still cruise very easily. We're 1-0. I'll see you in round two. All right, back for round two against Punted Wumpus. Awesome name. Unfortunately, also awesome roller. They bested our two easily, and thus we will be on the draw. Okay, good hand. This is not a on color mox, but it does work with Figure of Destiny, which is kind of nice. We don't have double black, and honestly, Lion Sash is not a great card to have in your opener, but still a good hand. So, how do we want to lead here? Oh, playing against a red deck. All right. Smuggler's Copter. Yeah, I think I'll play a turn one Copter here. Can't block the DRC, but that's fine. We can just. Now we're on the initiative. This hits for one, we hit for three. They pass. Okay, they could have a Bolt. Do we play around Bolt? I think I'll just play into it here. If they have it, they have it. Um, I don't think it really makes sense to be super passive. Okay, so what we'll do is play Lion Sash, animate the Copter. Try to go to combat. All right, we get to go to combat. Let's discard the student. We have Figure of Destiny, which is a better version of that effect. And then we'll drop Figure of Destiny into play and pass. Lots of stuff on play on turn two. We're also ahead in the race. I think I'll accept this trade if they offer it. We have plenty of stuff to do with our mana other than leveling up this. Oh, okay. Burst Lightning, sure. So they can't kill the Copter, but they do kill one of our threats. We can play two removal spells on our turn if we want to. Unlikely that we'll need to do that, but it's nice to have a way to kill a Planeswalker in case they have a Chandra. We can also grow our Lion Sash a bit, although we're probably just crewing the Copter with the Sash, so we don't need it to be big yet. Lion Sash is also kind of nice tech against the DRC. Oh, that's bad. Okay, that's yeah. I'm sad to see that. Battle Display is very strong here. Hopefully they just cast the 2/1 now. All right. And hit for one. Pass. One tap. Good draw. Because I think I just want to level this up this turn. Well, okay, yeah. Let's play planes and swing. If they block, we can level it up twice to make it bigger. Or we can just level it up once and then grab Lurrus. Yeah, I think it's better to pick up the Lurrus here. It's a really good card. It lets us replay the Smuggler's Copter next turn. And it's also just a good life-linking threat. We also could have left the Lion Sash back on defense, but that seems a little bit too passive. It's really weak to a removal spell, and I like the idea of trying to pressure the opponent's life total. Just got back from a vacation. My girlfriend is unpacking and cleaning and looking very cute while doing it. I really like that we have these two removal spells. Lurrus means we'll be able to have more threats than them, and then but the problem is if they just have threats that we can't deal with. but we have solid answers here. Cost of the hammer, okay. That pushes a lot of damage, but we can kill it. We also might not even need to use um, our hero's downfall if they attack with both. They do get to swing for 7 at us, which is a lot, but we're still going to be at a fairly healthy life total. We can get Lurrus into play. I think we're in a good spot. They accidentally untapped the wrong mountain. I've done this. It's frustrating. Yeah, I take no joy in them untapping the wrong land there. New planeswalkers always give the land haste, so this doesn't happen. Few options here. Um, I think I'm just going to swing at the Koth. If they just take it, we can kill the Koth. And if they block with this, I'm fine with that. Then we'll just use Hero's Downfall on the Koth. Lion's Ash is quickly going to become quite large. We are gonna, if they block or they don't block and we want to kill the Koth, we are gonna have to exile one of our own things, which is a bit awkward. Okay, they don't do it, so we'll just take out their Direfleet Daredevil. Then this happens. Now Hero's Downfall their Koth. And we could play the Evolved Sleeper, but I think I'd rather just level up the Lion Sash again. So I'm gonna main phase. No, no, no. Well, if we it plays around Bolt or Heal or like Incinerate or something to do this now. Yeah, I think I'll take out the Koth now. And now our life total's high. They're not that close to getting Dragon's Rage Channel or Delirious. We still have a Dismember. If they have a Chandra, we could be in kind of rough shape. But against almost anything else they could have here, I like our position. And even if they do have Chandra, we can go like Lurrus into. Okay, Avalanche Riders is fine. We'll see which land they kill. Silent Clearing gives us flexibility, but if they hit the swamp, then we have to pay life every time we want black mana. And they could even hit planes to mean we have to pay life to get Lion Sash going, but they hit the Silent Clearing. That I think that makes sense. That's probably what I would do as well, especially when our life total is pretty high. Okay, interesting draw. Let's swing with a Sash. They take it. Okay. Um, I think I'm just gonna level this up. Honestly, make it huge. Try and put a lot of pressure on them. I guess we'll exile our own Silent Clearing. Whoops. So they take 6. Then we'll play Evolved Sleeper and pass holding up Dismember. We have 2 removal spells that both take 8 life, or take 4 life each, so 8 combined. In this situation, that's actually fine, but we should consider if we want to cut one of them. But we probably should just play them both. Even though they do require us to pay life, they can save us a lot of life. All right, we win game 1. Solid start. Playing against Mono Red. It is tempting to just lose Lurrus and bring in Stoneforge Batterskull. I think I'm not going to do that, though. It is close. But Lurrus is such a nice threat to have access to. This is a perfect matchup for Lurrus. Both because he gains life and also because they have a lot of burn to kill our things. So let's bring in Containment Priest and bring out Duress, I think, on the draw. It does hit Koth and burn spells, I guess. Oh, Dark Confidant. Maybe we'd cut Dark Confidant, actually. I'll play it like this. Duress might end up being kind of a brick, but it also can be quite good. All right, good hand. We'll keep it. I kind of wish I had 2 white mana, but still a good start. They play Swift Spear on 1. Okay. I think I'm going to play Giver of Runes rather than just ousting this. I'd rather oust a threat that doesn't have haste. Okay, so we could block, and then if they have a burn spell, they kind of get us. But I think I'm going to do that still. It makes them use their burn spell now. Oh, Manamorphose. Okay, that's worst case scenario. That's like the only card here that would get us a red cantrip, but that is good. That's a solid 2 for 1 for the opponent. But I still think like that means they're not adding to the board. This is actually still totally fine. Okay, I think I'm gonna play Cathar Commando here and go for the instant speed block. Intrepid Adversary is going to be the last threat we play because it's the best, and I want them to have no more burn spells when we play this, so we get the lifelinker. Okay, that's a great thing to oust. I think I'm just going to do that now. So we'll go oust this, and then just play Intrepid Adversary. And it looks like we're pretty low on action, but we're not because we have Lurrus. And we're ahead on board, solid life total. They're drawing Magda next turn, which is not that good of a draw. Do they have the Koth? They do. We can pressure Koth pretty effectively here. We'll see if they untap the correct land. I would think they basically just always go for one of the middle lands. Yeah, they do it there. So they get to hit us for 15, but then we get to gain 3, so it's kind of a wash. Figure of Destiny, good draw. Let's just grab the Lurrus and play the figure. For 3. We could also leave up Dismember to kill their mountain, but I think I'd rather save Dismember for something a bit scarier. I think we should maybe actually have one more plains than we do right now and one fewer swamp, because we have a couple cards that make us one have double white, and then Dismember is also not really a white card. They probably blow up a plains here. Or sorry, I meant Dismember is not really a black card. Yep, good play by the opponent. Then they can hit us for 4 and leave back the Avalanche Riders to block. Avalanche Riders is quite good here. Because if we want to kill the Koth, we're going to lose a creature. Okay, they play Magda. Hopefully they swing with the Riders. They don't. Good play by the opponent. Alright, I think we're just going to play Lurrus and bring back the Giver. Don't love it. They're going to get to untap with Koth again, but I think that's fine. Pass. They only have one card. If they pay to keep the Avalanche Riders around, that's totally fine. They don't, though. So if they don't kill Lurrus this turn, they're going to be in a terrible position. Oh, they just concede. All right, fair enough. That seemed a little preemptive at first, but we get to untap with Giver of Runes to protect Lurrus, which is kind of an unbreakable combo. It just means that they can never kill our Lurrus. If they ever kill the Giver of Runes, we can replay it with a Lurrus. We can just keep on putting mana into Giver of Runes or into Figure of Destiny if they don't have anything. Yeah, really, really strong. This is exactly why we wanted Lurrus. This is what this does in the deck. Imagine if we didn't have the Lurrus here. We're actually just behind. They have Koth plus Magda. This is all we have. They like kill one thing. We're just way behind. They have 4 cards. But actually, I guess they didn't. They only had 2 cards. But yeah, Lurrus is dominant in that position. We are absolutely cruising. I'll see you in the finals. All right, back for the finals. We're on the draw once again. Our opponent's a high roller with a 6 over there. We're playing against Clavin Raptor. I'm going to keep this hand. I'm not thrilled about it. If they're attacking, the fact we have no play on turn 1 and our 2 drops both can't block is a bit awkward, but 2 recursive threats is great against control. We also have Vindicate, which is just going to be good in any matchup. All right, don't love drawing a land there, but at least it's a second white source. And again, Mana Flood is so much less bad when you have Lurrus, which is a great mana sink. I mean, it costs 6 to put it into your hand and play it, and then more to play something from your graveyard. So we'll have plenty of uses for lands in the mid to late game. We do need to find some threats, though. Just more threats to fill up the graveyard when they die. Okay, Sacred Foundry, Argoth. Hopefully this is not Renin 6. That's kind of disastrous. Oh, man, okay, well, looking like we might have to settle this in games 2 and 3. Just keeping a 4-lander, drawing 2 back-to-back lands, and then your opponent having turn 2 Renin 6 plus fetch land on the play is just a really brutal string of events. So we'll need to decide if we want to vindicate this Renin 6 next turn. I don't like the idea of just letting them continue to fetch every turn. Okay, so they're playing full on 5 color. Yeah, honestly, this could be tough. I really wish we had Wasteland or Strip Mine. I guess not good against Red and 6, but 5 color mana bases can be a little dicey, but they're in a good spot here. Boseiju. Okay. I will kill this Ren and 6. Come on. That's really brutal. Drawn 3 lands out of Boseiju, so now we've seen 8 lands of our 16, so half of them to only 3 spells. On board, I mean, it's kind of even, but our hand is just garbage, and they are likely to have something good. Yep. Okay. Next turn we can play this as a 5/3, which isn't terrible. It really depends on what they're getting with this. Hydroid Krasis, yeah, this is not the kind of game that our deck is well suited for. I'll fight the good fight. I'm not going to concede, but not feeling good about it. If they play the Krasis this turn, it will be a 4/4 most likely, so it could trade with a Skyclave Shade, which is honestly fine. If they just do that, and then we trade, and then we can replay the Shade as a 5/3 again and play Thraben Inspector. Like, this card is actually great in this position. Just a 5/3 that can never be killed. Since we have the lands to kick it and keep playing it from the graveyard, for better or for worse. They also might just trump block with the Recruiter. Ooh, interesting draw. I'm still going to hold it for this turn, though. They just take the 5. Wow. All right. So we'll play Thraben Inspector. I think I'm just going to crack the clue now in case we find Thoughtseize. And then if we don't, we'll put Lurrus into our hand. Ooh, Hero's Downfall. Good draw, but still, let's grab Lurrus. Back. Can easily beat their board, but they have 6 mana of all colors, 7 cards in hand, very likely lots of action. We have a kill spell. I mean, our hand is actually pretty good now, but still, gotta think this is a losing position for us. Ah, come on. Strix is pretty annoying here. Strix into Wall of Roots, okay. Into Sylvan Library. Okay, honestly, none of that's that bad. Baleful Strix is annoying because it blocks our thing fairly well, but we can replay it from the graveyard. Giver of Runes, okay. So I'm going to swing with Skyclave Shade. They'll block with the Baleful Strix, and we'll replay it as a 5-3 again and play Giver of Runes. Path to Exile. I'm honestly tempted to kill this in response, but I think that's not worth it. I'm going to keep getting planes in case we find Figure of Destiny. Now we'll go Land, Lurrus, Scrounger, Giver. And then next turn we can play a big Intrepid Adversary. So I think we can still beat the board, and they're down to 2 cards now. They do, however, get a lot of looks with a card with the Sylvan Library. So we are going to have 9 mana, so we can play Intrepid Adversary and kick it 3 times. So our team will get +3/+3. And then we can use Giver of Runes to protect ourselves. Thragtusk, alright. Not looking great, but it's very much not over. The only reason it's not over is because of Giver of Runes. They attack with the Baleful Strix. That's an absolutely atrocious attack. I'm happy to see it. So we'll play land, play Intrepid Adversary. Pay the cost 3 times. Then we attack with everything except Giver of Runes. We're gonna save our Lurrus if they block with Thragtusk. And we're also gaining 6 life. Do block like that, no surprise. And then taking 10 seems a little risky here. We're going to be at 17, so I'm not worried about being killed on the backswing. Okay, yeah, a chump block makes sense. Earlier, they could have chumped with this Recruiter to save 5 damage, and now they're able to save 6, so that play worked out for them. So we'll let this happen. Or no, we're not going to let this. We'll save our Lurrus. Get protection from green. We gain 6. We kill both of your creatures. You take 4. And we have a 6/4 back on defense. They have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 damage. I mean, we'll see. We have no place here. If they find something good off the library, we could be in rough shape. And library plus Courser is nice value. But, oh, Ephemerate? No, that's fine. Actually, Ephemerate Baleful Strix is only okay. Then Forest, and then Uro. So we know all of their cards except for one. They have in their hand right now. They have Ephemerate. They have Waterlogged Grove, and oh, maybe we don't know everything. They put Forest back on top. They did pay life. Interesting. That seems aggressive. Oh, okay. What does this do? Make it 2/2 and mill 2 cards? Mill 3 cards? Okay. They don't have the mana to bring back Uro right now. Oh, wait, no, they do actually. We can kill it, though. It's too bad that they have this Baleful Strix. All their other creatures are green. Okay, we can almost kill them here. I think we just swing with everything. Except for the Giver of Runes, of course. They have ephemerate. This seems totally fine. All this is okay. We're gonna give our Lurrus protection from blue. Okay, so if they block like this, they're gonna get to kill our Thraben Inspector because Intrepid Adversary will die. But that's fine. I don't really care about losing the Thraben Inspector. So, yep, that order seems fine. Let's save our Lurrus again. Protection from black. Okay, ephemerate. Do we want to dismember that in response? I think I actually will. It cuts them off of 2 card draws. Alternatively, hmm. Okay, there's a lot of things to consider here. We want to replay our Intrepid Adversary, and we wanted to make it as big as possible. But we can't pay too much life on this dismember and threaten dying on the backswing. So we have 5, 8, 9, 10 mana. So we could pay 2 for dismember, then we could go down to 10, but we gain 6 off the Intrepid Adversary, so we're at 16. And then we're not really at any risk of dying on the backswing. Yeah, that seems totally fine. So let's go dismember, kill your Strix in response, and we'll pay. What? Oh, whoops, that's Hero's Downfall. Okay. Dismember here. 2. Hmm. Hmm. Now the ephemerate fizzles. This gets protection from black, doesn't matter. Um, Damage happens. We lose 2 creatures, but we can replay the Intrepid Adversary with Lurrus. And we can replay the Thraben Inspector next turn. So we're kicking this 3 times again. We don't have Mother or Giver of Runes up for protection, so if they can find a removal spell, things get a little bit bad. So we'll pass. They're down to 1. We're at a healthy life total. They can bring back Uro. They still have a Waterlogged Grove in circulation. We'll see. This seems like it should be a bad matchup. So if we win this one, that would be great, and then we'll only have to win one of the next 2. There's a Wall of Omens, pretty good draw for them. Looks like this is Uro. I'm happy the Solitude's in the graveyard. Their deck looks sweet, like Ephemerate Solitude, Ephemerate Recruiter, Ephemerate Thragtusk, Wall of Omens, Baleful Strix, lots of good stuff for that. They have Ren 6. Uro can take over games on its own. Looks like they have a pretty good mana base. A lot of sweet stuff going on over there. But a lot of sweet stuff going on over here as well. Oh, they even have a Soul Ring. Okay. Not too good here. They're down to 1 card. Just sacking their land. Okay. It's fine. They also are at some risk of milling. They have 8 cards left, and we're gaining a lot of life every turn. Really, it just comes down to if they have a kill spell here. They take away our kill spell. That's fine. If they just pass and we get to untap, we're in a great spot. Man, this has been a sweet, sweet game so far. We're getting so much value out of all of our creatures. All right, looks like they're just passing. They leave this back on defense, I think. Yep. Okay, drawing land. There's bad. Let's swing with everything to start. Again, everything except for Giver. I'm not going to play Thraben Inspector pre-combat because there's a chance that we want to replay. And if they go for some sort of block on Intrepid Adversary and Lurrus, then we might want to bring back the Adversary instead. We can make it even bigger this time. These are both lethal attackers, so they have to chump block. They what? This doesn't work, opponent. We can just get protection from green. Okay, this is fine. Protection from green here. Oh, whoops, I should have reordered them. We should have killed the Tidehauler Sculler as well. Still, okay, yeah, they just conceded that we were going to win that game. Wow, that you really see the grinding power of Lurrus there. They kept on, like, they drew so many more cards than us. You can see they had 8 cards left, we had 21. But we were able to just replay all of our threats, and then Intrepid Adversary put in a lot of work to become huge. They burned their path on Skyclave Shade, which was also really good, but it didn't matter. And then we drew 11 lands there, but all of our threats scaled so well with our mana, and we didn't even draw our actual mana sync cards of wow, just land coming up. We didn't draw our like traditional mana sync cards of Student of Warfare, Evolved Sleeper, and Figure of Destiny. So it could be even better. All right, Containment Priest is interesting. So is Unlicensed Hearse. Priest is a good answer to Ephemerate, and Unlicensed Hearse is an answer to Uro and Ren and 6. If we bring those in, what do we not want? I think Duress seems good. Um, Honestly, everything seems pretty good. We could trim, like, maybe we trim Student of Warfare. Just like a dude that comes in on the ground with basically no other text. They it seems like they have a lot of good blockers for that sort of thing. And I think I do want all the removal. All these 2-drops seem pretty good. I guess we could cut Containment Priest. It's only good against the one card that we've seen. But it's so good against that card. And it's also just like a solid rate. Could cut a land on the draw against the deck with Boseiju. I'll cut Mutavault on the draw, I think. It's a little bit worse. This keeps our mana fixing decent. Um, and yeah, we're on the draw. And they also have Boseiju and Path to give us lands. Okay, great hand. We will definitely be keeping this. It has no removal, so we're just like playing dudes, and if they play bigger dudes, that could be a problem, but still definitely going to keep. Forest Utopia Sprawl on 1. We have Thor Commando to kill that, but not until turn 3, so that's a little rough. Let's play Thraben Inspector on 1. It plays around Ren and 6 the best. I don't think they're likely to have Ren and 6 if they named Black with this, but they could. And getting planes means we can't play Fiend Artisan on 2, but that's fine. That's not really a card we're interested in rushing into play anyways. Come on. I wish we could kill this, but we're going to have to take one turn off. Thoughtseize. Okay, that's a great draw. Let's Thoughtseize them, and then hopefully they don't have any big plays until the turn after, and we can kill the Soul Ring. Oh, wow, their hand is just lands. Okay, so we'll take the Strix, we'll get the figure down, and then hit them for 1. And now they're just holding lands, and their lands aren't even good. Like, they're not that close to animating Colonnade. Colonnade would actually be a real problem here. They play Forest. Oh, they top deck something. That is brutal. Blind Rip Hydroid Krasis off the top after the Thoughtseize. That feels really bad. Mother of Runes. Good draw. I was planning on playing Cathar Commando, but at this point I think I'm just going to let them have all their things. Um, Do we want to play Fiend Artisan first or hold up Containment Priest? Oh no, actually playing Mother of Runes doesn't really work if they have Bushwhack. So let's just blow up their Soul Ring then. Yeah, I'm gonna blow up Soul Ring. They don't have anything that we know about that it's really good with, but it's just too much mana for one card. I'm not really comfortable with them having that going. They'll do this, pass. If they want a Bushwhack to kill one of our things, that's fine. We can get Mother of Runes down. They do have a 4/4 with flying, so we'll need to find an answer to that sooner or later. Uro, okay. I don't think Containment Priest works against Uro. I think you're still casting it when you escape it. So they're holding Mountain, Bushwhack, one unknown. Hopefully they just use the Bushwhack now in the Figure of Destiny. They do. Okay, so we get to get Mother of Runes down. We're still at a great risk of just dying here because they have Colonnade plus Hydroid Krasis. So they have a lot of damage in the air. We need to find some lifelink or some removal. Mox, Ruby. Here, play the Mom. I think I will play out the Ruby. And hit for one. And then do we want to play Fiend Artisan? Yeah, I'll play Fiend Artisan here. It requires paying a life, which I don't love, but I think it's okay. If they just go for the aggressive line and animate Colonnade, we probably die. But there's not much we can do about that. I guess we could crack a clue just to dig, but yeah, we'll do it like this. Fiend Artisan can find what? Like Tide Hollow Sculler. It can find Lion Sash, but that doesn't really do it. They found another huge. Man, remember when we thought seized them and they had nothing? And now here they are just using all of their mana every single turn. At least we get to be on the play for game 3. Hogla, okay. I guess I'll take a draw stat, but this game is over. They kill Fiend Artisan over Mother of Runes. Interesting. So what are we hoping to find? Like kill spell for this, but then still be dead to Colonnade. I don't think there's anything we can draw here. All right, yeah, I'll concede. We get to be on the play for game 3. I think I'm going to bring Student of Warfare back in and just try and be fast. So we'll bring that in and cut. I think just Containment Priest. It's good against Ephemerate, but not much else. And then, yeah, we'll submit like this. And, I mean, hopefully they don't have Soul Ring. Hopefully we get a solid, keepable hand. I just realized we actually should have probably gone up to 16 lands again on the play. We have to ship this one. Okay. I'll keep this begrudgingly and put back Usher of the Fallen. Duress. What you got? Okay, I think I'm going to let them have the path and just take the threat. Pass. Good to know about Kogla. If we can have up Hero's Downfall, then we can deal with it effectively. Unlicensed Source can also become pretty nice here. It can just become a big threat. Let's see. They play the Noble Hierarch and pass turn. We need to find a white source soon. There you go. Ask and you shall receive. Let's play the Hearse and just instantly take out their lands. No. We'll wait. If they have another fetch land plus Ren, I want to be able to shut that down. And this is a situation where we don't have any use for the duress in our own graveyard. So if we, in a later turn, at the end of their turn, there's nothing for us to exile out of theirs, we'll just exile our own duress to grow the hearse. This can become a very legitimate threat on its own. They're debating if they want to cycle this Jetmir's Garden or play it. They play Forest, so we know their hand, except for one card. I'm totally fine taking one here. All right, exile your things. And then we're going to play Thraben Inspector and crack the clue. Almost definitely. Yep, that does not change anything. Figure's a bit awkward with our two basic swamps, but still fine. Next turn, our plan is probably to, if we find land, then we'll just grab Lurrus and play Figure. Another dude. I really wish we had a Jite. They probably just played Jetmir's Garden. Oh, okay. So we know their exact hand. Next turn they can play Kogla, so we need to leave Hero's Downfall up. Vindicate. We could hit we could hit one of their lands, but I think I'd rather just go after their spells. So we'll let this happen. Untap. Skyclave Shade. Kind of weird draw. Not that good, but we have the kill spell for the Kogla. I think they're just jamming here. They could play more conservatively and just, but then what are they doing? Just not playing their Kogla, just playing land go. That seems too passive. If they do just pass without using Kogla, we also will just pass, not use our Hero's Downfall. But yeah, they played Mountain. Looks like they're going for it, which I think is the right line from their perspective. I mean, I guess they know that we didn't put Lurrus into our hand. We are kind of telegraphing that we have something, but we've also shown them multiple flash threats. If they just want to swing at us for one, that's fine. Oh, I guess we should have swung at them for one. What do we do if they animate Raging Ravine? Looks like that is their play. I think I will Hero's Downfall this. It lets us use our mana. Um, and then, like, maybe they get to kill our Thraben Inspector, and that's not a problem. That's your Raging Ravine. They also currently don't have an untapped 6th mana source. Dark Confidant. Interesting. I'm going to risk it. If they have the kill spell, if they have an untapped land as their last card, it's kind of unfortunate that we lose our Dark Confidant, but I think it's still fine. And like it's a 2-for-1 that they're spending 6 mana on. Um, oh, Path on the Bob. Okay, sure. I'll happily take my second planes. We could crew the unlicensed hearse here, but I think I'd rather just do it this way. And pass. We'll see if they have the land. But if they're taking out the Bob, then like we can get Lurrus value later. Okay, they do find the untapped land, so they're gonna play their Kogla, kill the Figure of Destiny. Then we're going to vindicate their Kogla. All right, we'll exile your path. They're holding Jetmir's Garden and one unknown. If we find a land, that would be kind of nice for the Skyclave Shade. We don't, but that's fine. Let's just kill this. Hit for one. So they need to top deck something. We're going to win currently. We have a pretty good hand. We have Lurrus still. And then this unlicensed Hearse continues to grow every turn. But they have a lot of very live top decks. They also have a lot of bad top decks, though, including Ren and 6. Sylvan Library. Okay. That's fine. We're not pressuring them that much now, but we're going to start pressuring them a lot more soon. Okay, they hit for 2. This is fine. I think I'm going to actually exile my own Vindicate and Hero's Downfall to grow the hearse more and then start getting aggressive. I don't really care about this Kogla in the graveyard. They're not close to Uro or anything. Thoughtseize. Okay. Let's play. Well, all right. I'm going to start with a Shade. Crew the hearse and swing. Did they not play land on their turn? No, they didn't. So I think it's pretty likely that they have another spell in their hand. Swing for 8. Okay, they chump block. That's fine. Cycle of the Garden. Okay, this is good. We get to Thoughtseize now and have more options. We do, like, the hearse is no longer available to exile something, so if they have Wrenn and 6, they can get some value, but we'll get to take a look at their hand. They do have the Wrenn, which we will take. And yet they have a Tidal Scholar that they're not even close to casting. They get to do Sylvan Library, but we have a lot of damage. Like, we can threaten them to, we can push a lot of damage, and we have Fiend Artisan also, which is a good play. They pay 8 light. Wow, that's an aggressive line. They need to have Boseiju. Okay, Utopia Sprawl. They can get one of their remaining colors. Probably name white with a Utopia Sprawl. Black, sure. Do they have the unlicensed hearse? Or the Baleful Strix. Strix would be annoying here. It's good against the hearse. The enemy would just not attack with the hearse. Use it to continue exiling their graveyard. It's a lot of mana. Could be Hydroid Krasis. Yep, there's the Krasis. It's a 3/3. That's not too big. It only draws them one card. Now, planes, they're holding Tidehollow Scholar and one unknown. Um, I think I'm just gonna swing for 3 here, not crew the hearse. The hearse isn't quite lethal on its own either way. And then if they block and trade, we can just play land and then Fiend Artisan plus Krasis. Or plus replay the Shade. Interesting. They take it. Okay. In that case, we will play land, Fiend Artisan, and grab Lurrus. I guess they can hit the Lurrus with Tidehollow Scholar. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit unfortunate, but I still think it's probably better to get the Lurrus than to do nothing. And then we can just use Fiend Artisan next turn. Yep, they take our Lurrus, but any removal spell we find will unlock Lurrus. And also Lurrus isn't even that amazing here. Now we could get and we should probably get like one of our mana sink cards. Oh, okay. That's kind of annoying because they can kill our Fiend Artisan. Okay, that's actually quite bad. Now we don't have any action. We need to top deck something. They're out of cards. This Unlicensed Hearse is a lethal attacker, so they have to chump block that every turn. But soon Garrick is going to start making a Death Touch blocker every turn. So we need to find something very soon. Draw Cathar Commando. Interesting. So we can use that to kill the Tidehollow Scholar. So, okay, so I think this line. We're gonna go Cathar Commando, kill your or crew the hearse, then kill your Sculler. Then we get our Lurrus back and we send Hearse at them, which they have to block. And then we can send these two both at Garrick to kill the Garrick. Or maybe we just send only Thraben Inspector at Garrick. Yeah, I think I'm fine with them going to 3. And if they Well, let's think about this. If we do this, what they'll almost definitely do is block Crisis on the 3-bit inspector, chump block the hearse with the birds, and then go to 3. But then they untap with Garrick, and they can make a 1/1 with Death Touch. If instead we send this also at Garrick, then instead what they'll do is chump block this with the hearse, trade. No. Yeah, this is probably a better attack. Yeah, let's do this. I don't want them to make 1/1s with Death Touch every turn. And then, okay, yep, they block like this. That makes sense. So they lose their Garrick, they lose their bird, we lose our Thraben Inspector. Um, and then they have no cards. We have Lurrus, so we can replay whatever we want next turn. I think we're pretty ahead here, but it's definitely not over. What do we want to play first? Probably Fiend Artisan. It's the biggest, and it also gives us the most flexibility. If we had more planes, we could get Figure of Destiny with the potential of giving it flying, but we're a long way away from that. Okay, so they just play land. They can sack that to draw if they want, but every turn we're pulling further ahead. This hearse has been huge. 2 mana for like a massive creature. Okay, interesting draw. Now we'll probably just play Figure of Destiny. Let's play oh, they concede. All right, there we go. So, this was our amazing black-white Lurrus deck. This is the deck that Lurrus was made for, and so I'm really happy we were able to get it. We set ourselves up for the Lurrus somewhat early. Like halfway through pack 1, I started talking about it and did change my pick order a bit, prioritizing threats that we could play with Lurrus over good threats like Skyclave Apparition. And then we did get the Lurrus, which was a bit lucky, but you're pretty likely to. Lurrus is not a high pick for most people, so especially if you're already in, like, have a bunch of good 1 and 2 mana creatures, you'll probably be able to get the Lurrus. And then the deck was sweet. We had a bunch of cheap threats, almost by definition. 16 or 15 1 and 2 mana creatures plus Smuggler's Copter. So lots of good things to occur. Also, crucially, we had the good interaction to back it up. So Snuff Out, Dismember, Hero's Downfall, Vindicate, Duress, Thoughtseize, and Oust. If your opponent just plays Thragtusk, it doesn't matter how many times you can recur a 2/2, you'll lose. So you need to have ways to interact with their big things. And so that's a key thing for these decks, and we had that. We also had pretty good fixing with 3 duels. And Mother of Runes plus Giver of Runes, which pairs so well with the Lurrus. And that just resulted in an awesome deck. We never got to use Fiend Artisan. We never got to really get Dark Confidant going. But the highlight of the game, the highlight for sure was match 3, game 1, where we got to play Recur Intrepid Adversary to buff our entire team +3. Just play something back with Lurrus every turn. Save our Lurrus with Giver of Runes. Gain life. Just really do it all. So that was a sweet league. I'm also happy we got to see Unlicensed Hearse once. If you're still watching at this point, I never really say this, but if you don't already, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. It does help. I don't want to be annoying and plug this too much, but I would really appreciate that. Likes, comments, also good. But really, I'm just happy that you're hanging out with me at all and giving me the view and partaking in this thing that I'm so passionate about, and I hope you are too. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed Draft Lurrus, and I'll see you next time.